Let's talk about some old history. What have you found out recently? Dave just loves history and loves this ship.
Sure.
So if we want to know what's going on, we always talk to him.
Yeah. Well, once again, I just keep getting donations from different people,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just little kernels of information that kind of surface. For example, and this is just kind of a small side note, but there used to be 2 catapults back aft for the float planes, and she carried 3 float planes in the first commissioning during World War II.
Yeah.
And I got a photograph from 1947. Well, they had removed the starboard catapult and was only operating with the port catapult. And not a big, huge deal, but just kind of an interesting side note. And then she was only carrying 2 float planes.
Yeah.
So just small little tidbits like that surface to rewrite or understand Iowa's history and what was taking place on board the ship.
And of course, the one thing you really want to try and find, if you possibly can, is the elevator plans.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's one thing.
You want to put that back on the ship, right?
I don't know where they might be. Well, would at least like to know how they were made or how they operated, but we do have the photograph. I told you about that before. We finally located one photograph in the National Archives that when you zoom in, you can see the 2 elevator shafts that they're at the exterior of the superstructure on the starboard side that allowed President Roosevelt to travel in between some of the decks, not all the decks of the superstructure.
Yeah.
And of course, the bathtub still remains the famous presidential bathtub,
Absolutely.
so to speak.
Only bathtub in the Navy.
Well, actually,
we found some new information.
Yeah, well, there were on the Mississippi and other ships.
Oh, okay.
So the marketing department's, gone kind of crazy, like, oh, you're kidding me. But at least we can say it was probably the only bathtub ever installed on board the warship for a president.
There you go.
So that's how we like to say
it. So now
but
it's important that we get it right. I mean, hey, that would be a cool thing, but getting it right is even more cool.
Yeah,
and as we get the information, we'll do it right.
That actually has been kind of an urban myth, like the ship moves sideways when the guns fire.
Yes, I know.
So I'm always kind of refuting that. Yeah, I hate to correct you, but
I know the ship doesn't move sideways when all 9 barrels of the 16-inch guns fire. Everyone thinks it does, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of pictures show the optical illusion of the blast wave pushing the water out, and then the guns recoil almost 4 feet. They say 47 inches to be, direct or exact, I should say.